So today I'll be talking about our journey in building a central Go modules repository, Go Center, and some of the hard decisions which we had to make. All right. My name is Ankush Chadha. I manage the community and partner engineering team at JFrog. And at JFrog, we have been using Golang since 2015. And when Go modules was announced, we got really excited. But soon we realized that just using Go modules is not enough to produce reproducible builds, right? Repeatability is key when we compare with other languages. So the key is one has to use Go modules correctly in order to guarantee repeatability. So that's the first thumb rule. And the second thumb rule is that there needs to be a source of immutable versions. And I mean, this topic Aaron discussed during his keynote yesterday, and Leon touched as well an hour or so back. So what does it mean by use Go modules successfully, right? So over here, I have two mod files. The one mod file on the left, as you would notice, there are no dependency versions listed. So what it means is if I run a Go build, say today, versus a week down the line, I will have different builds because by default, Go will fetch the latest version of dependencies, right? So it doesn't guarantee repeatability if I go with the version on the left, right? But if I look at the version on the right, the dependency versions are locked down. So what it means is if I run a Go build today versus a week from now, the repeatability is guaranteed, right? So that's the first thumb rule. And now let's talk about the source of immutable dependencies, right? So when we started this project, I mean, one of the motivations to start this project is that there was no source of immutable dependencies. And when we were building Go Center, even though like we say that, okay, like no one should remove the tags or no one should wipe out the tags, but when we were building Go Center, we came across a lot of scenarios where like authors removed the tag or they changed an existing version, right? So, so one of the thumb rules of a central module repository is to guarantee immutability and availability of module versions, right? And that was our motivation to build Go Center. So let me talk about some of the hard decisions which we had to make, right? So when we started, there were rarely many projects which were using Go modules back then. So this was back in November timeframe of last year. But if there were some, we just used to serve their Go mod file as is because we honor author's intent, right? And we used to serve them as is as long as we are able to validate them successfully, right? But those were like rare cases, like extremely rare cases. For majority of the time, we came across projects which were not adopting Go modules yet because that was very, very early time frame, right? So we had two approaches back then, right? So to explain in a very simple way, we either used to run Go mod tidy, right, to get a populated version of Go mod files, right? So that was a thumb rule one. And second, we used to run Go mod init when other formal dependency management, like such as Go def, was used, because we want to create a populated version of Go mod file. The problem with Go mod tidy approach was that, I mean, it's the same thing. Like, so if I run Go mod tidy today or a week down the line, I may have different module versions listed in my dependencies, right? So again, like repeatability is not much guaranteed, or like we are trying to rebuild the past in the future, and it doesn't work like that, right? So like in this example, like V100 was released, and then A100 was released. At that time, the relationship is A100 relies on B100, right? But when we ran Go mod tidy sometime in future, the module relationship became AV100 points to B version 1.1.0, right? So it's an incorrect module relationship. So we realized this problem and we stopped using this approach. So what we do instead is we serve, in these scenarios, we serve Go mod file, which is the module name, right? But on our UI, we still suggest the populated version of mod file, right? So it will help not only the module authors, but it will even help the users of those modules as well, like whenever the module author adopts Go mod correctly, right? So that's one scenario. Now this one was the hard one. This is where we had to make like a hard decision. So Go mod init, what it does is if there are existing or former package managers used, like Go def, it will honor module author's intent, and it will create a populated version of Go mod files with the dependency versions locked down, right? So when we went live with Go Center in January of this year, we had this implementation on, right? And so we were serving a Go mod file with lockdown version of dependencies because we want to guarantee repeatability, right? For the not only the module authors, but even for consumers of those modules, right? But again, we changed our approach, and this was a hard choice because we thought we did the right thing. But we changed the approach because of two reasons, right? So the first is we don't want to disrupt the end user experience because the community was still new and evolving. Because I mean, there was a default, a very strong opinion by default. If you're resolving from VCS systems, it's always going to fetch the latest versions, right? So we kind of honor that. And the second is we also want to make sure that we interoperate with the other module mirrors, right? So we want to make sure that the ecosystem is strong. So in this case, again, like we serve a mod file with just the module name, and we do highlight a populated version of Go mod file so that when module authors, they want to adopt Go modules, they just do copy paste. And we know, like, we all love copy paste. So I would like to sum up with the best practices. Like always, use populated version of Go mod file. Make sure you lock down your dependency versions. 2, avoid using pseudo versions. I mean, pseudo versions has commit hashes. It's more like a VCS concept. It's not like a package manager concept. So avoid using pseudo versions. And please tag releases and follow Semver conventions. Thank you.